Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a brilliant day to be an ape. Just look at the absolute size of that candle. That's one of the biggest candles we've seen since the run-up on June the 2nd. Today I want to go through some data and basically just recap on the day we had. Trust me guys, you do not want to miss this video. So stay tuned and let's make some money. But before I dive into the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to the 1,800 of you that are currently dinging that notification bell, because you guys are always the first to watch a new video as soon as it's released. So guys, be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell if you haven't already so that you don't miss another video just like this one. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. But before I do, I'm just going to give you a moment to get yourself a beer or maybe a glass of whiskey. Or if you're a female ape, maybe a glass of wine. Or if you're an ape that doesn't drink, a nice tall refreshing glass of water to make sure you're not dehydrated. So guys, sit back and enjoy the video. Today we saw us break out of this downtrend and start to reclaim the wedge. Throughout the rest of this week, I'd like to see us trade higher towards the top of this wedge, around $50. We saw a 24.47% gain, which is second only to this giant candle where we had a 95.22% gain, and this candle here before the June run-up at 35.58%. This is an absolutely brilliant sign, and this is hopefully history starting to repeat itself, and soon enough we'll be on the run-up back towards all-time highs. If we look at it on a shorter time frame, we came out of the gate strong, consolidated in the lunchtime period, and then ran up massively towards the afternoon and into the close. From a volume perspective, we saw 165.6 million shares traded. Other than this bar where we saw 194 million shares traded, this is the most shares we've traded since AMC was back around the $50, $60 mark, around here. High volume is great to see as it means that apes were buying the stock in the dozens, and it absolutely means that volume and attention is returning to the AMC stock. Not that it ever really left, but again it's going to bring more and more new apes to the AMC movement. Looking at the S3 partners short interest, it's around $2.63 billion, 75.84 million shares shorted, 15.17% short interest of float, 13.17% S3 partners short interest percent of float, a 1.21% borrowing fee, and shares shorted are down 4 million shares, worth $138 million, minus 5% over the last week. Shorts have currently lost $3.65 billion in 2021 market-to-market losses, including $474 million on today's 15.29% move. Obviously this is slightly outdated as it did continue to run up to around 24%, which is actually around a $750 million loss for the shorts today alone. I do think it's worth noting the difference between shares shorted and shares on loan, as there's still currently over 90 million shares still on loan. It's definitely a possibility that hedgies could be marking these shorts incorrectly, and actually there's more than 75 million legal shares shorted, actually closer to around that 90 million mark, not including the synthetics. Having a look at Stonko Tracker, we can see a nice jump of in-the-money call options expiring this Friday. Speaking of which, there's also been a very large jump in the number of put options out of the money now, as obviously we've broken past that $40 resistance. We're still seeing a very heavy percentage of number of shares traded in the dark pool, around 66.9%, but of those, only 43% were short transactions. Moving over to look at the dark pool data on StockGrid, we can see the number of new net daily shorts is low, especially compared to the last few weeks. On Friday, we actually saw a net long position in the dark pool. However, on Monday, we did see the hedgies short more shares. Again, I do think it's really important to note just how these volume bars have been decreasing as time has gone by, just showing that the hedgies are absolutely running out of steam, and also more importantly, running out of shares in the dark pool to short. As the hedgies run out of shares to short and start creating more and more synthetic shorts, it becomes more and more obvious because us apes are buying those synthetic shares and therefore will start owning the float multiple times over. If AMC were to do a share recount, it wouldn't surprise me if they found that there were many more than 500 million shares out there trading right now. I saw this post on Reddit and noted the hypocrisy. AMC goes up almost 12% in 2 hours and it's media blackout. When AMC goes down 2% in a single day, MarketWatch, Benzinga, CNBC are all blowing up our news feeds and telling everyone to sell before it's too late, before the stock even hits the 2% loss. There's a pattern here. They care an awful lot about us, every little dip to send warning, but silence when it hits rapid increases. We're on to you, smart money. Again, this just proves that the mainstream media is owned by the hedgies. As soon as the stock drops the tiniest little bit, the mainstream media is trying to spread FUD and scare everyone out of their positions. But as soon as AMC starts absolutely ripping, the mainstream media are nowhere to be heard, nowhere to be seen, and don't publish a single article. At this point, I might as well turn my bot comment updates into a daily thing. This time we've got an update from the masked investor. This morning at 7 AM during my live stream, bots came in asking people to sell at $300 a share. What happened to the $100 bots that we saw last week and the $50 bots that we saw many weeks prior? Clearly the bots that are paid by the hedgies realise that $100 a share is far too low for the apes to settle. Now they're hoping that the apes will paper hand at around $300 per AMC share. It's also obvious that the hedgies are getting increasingly more and more scared as they're doing absolutely everything they can to try and convince us apes to sell our shares. But unfortunately hedgies, when you see a candle this big, you know that unfortunately you can't do anything to try and scare the apes into selling their shares. You're just going to have to hold on and wait till you get liquidated. Guys, I hope you have a great evening tonight. I hope you kick back, relax and enjoy your evening until we meet again tomorrow morning. Guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think of today's price action. Are you happy with a near 25% gain? And what do you think is in store for tomorrow? Guys, if you haven't already, I'd really consider checking out the Patreon and the private Discord, linked in the description below, and becoming part of the team. We talk about AMC and other stocks, sharing our news, due diligence, and more. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.